Captain's log, it's the 9th of June, the time is just gone 10 o'clock, it's 10:49. We're just going to go for a drive from where we live to a home store where you can get your DIY equipment. I need to go buy some specialist paint brushes, but this video is just pretty much about the drive there to see the scenic part of the world that we live in. So hopefully Alice and myself won't get frustrated on the way by bad drivers and use bad language, but we shall find out. So let's see how this goes. This is going to be one way, and then I'll see if I might come back a different route, and then film that. But anyway, just so you can see some of the scenic views of the area we live in. So here it goes. Right, now, Mo, try to remind me not to swear in this video, alright?
That's both of us.
Both of us, yeah.
Hit the village yet?
Yeah, I might get road rage.
We need to get one of those bands, and when you think you're going to say something, you flick yourself.
No, yeah, or give myself a shock collar. Every time I swear, it shocks me. Hurt my teeth.
Yeah, but the band does the same thing.
Yeah, but you have to remind yourself to flick yourself. And I'm not really that partial to getting self-inflicting pain on myself, to be honest. Rather you did it, a little bit of pain to me. Oh. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, lovely day. 17 degrees at the moment, it's not too hot. Hay fever. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm going to be sneezing all day now. It starts now.
Yeah.
I'm a little congested later from this pollen I can't sign. Ocean is flat as heck. Look at that. That's pretty. Homer.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's like a mirror today. Look. Not a waving sign. That's nice. I always slow down around that corner in case people come up there, because I don't often come up there at speed. Right? Excuse me. Hay fever. Horrible. Oh, here we go. Look at that. That's good parking already. On a junction. Very intelligent. Idiot. Where is he? Do you think he's gone coming from church, or he's finished with church and he's just doing his walk? Remind me to shut down the Mercedes hood this evening.
I'll try to, but
Trying to air it out a bit.
can't guarantee I'll remember.
Look, there's another one, parked on the road, in a blind corner, on double yellows. God, these people, I don't know. No common sense. Anything coming around there big is just going to take it out. Don't do that, I mean... Oh,
Get photo bombs out.
So this is Victoria Road, a lot of Victorian houses on it from back in the day when Victoria, the Queen, one of the Queens, used to use the island as a holiday destination. And some of the stories I've heard that about this island is that they imported a lot of military people to the island to thin out the gene pool a little bit, because a small community and, you know, island life effectively, a lot of inbreeding. So they had to thin out the gene pool. But subsequently they have forgotten about this part of the world, and it's no longer really well, it's just a forgotten part of the United Kingdom. So although we live quite in a nice secluded spot, we're still very close to pretty much anything. The island's not that big. I can pretty much get anywhere on the island within an hour of travel, assuming that I'm not going to be held up by horses, tractors, cyclists and tourists. And Dorises, I call them. You know, the 90-something-year-old old ladies that are driving at 10 miles an hour. You can barely see it on the steering wheel. But taking those aggravations and frustrations out of the scenario, it's still pretty scenic and pretty decent air quality, and very farmlandish, lots of agriculture. And we do have some industry. So what we are doing is we are heading from our little hamlet halfway across the island now to, it's not a capital per se, it's not actually an official capital, but it's known as the capital of the island. It's got a business district, it's got banks, it's got car dealerships, it's got various shops, not a great deal of them, to be fair. The mainland has a lot more to offer, but for the island, this place is a good decade behind the mainland. Very laid back lifestyle, and some of the things I've seen in my adventures come across as quite primitive really, but that adds to the quaintness of this place. It is a retirement island, and there are certain pockets on the island that have extreme wealth, and I'm talking, you know, multi-millionaires, even billionaires. Funny enough, I'm currently working as a subcontractor for a billionaire. But we also have very poor people on the island. It makes you think a little bit of Mauritius, where you have a mixture of wealth, all different levels of wealth, where you can have poor people living right next to really, really wealthy people. It's quite interesting, but it doesn't take away from the quaintness. So there's quite a number of holiday homes here on the island. It is a holiday destination, but it hasn't got a lot to offer anymore. It used to have a lot more back in the day, but things have changed, and economies and all that sort of stuff, you know, rise and fall as they do. But yeah, not a great view at the moment, because all you're seeing is the back of a big old truck. Well, a van. But hopefully it will clear up as we go. So this is one of the main routes, as you can see. It's got a few cars in it, and having come from the mainland myself, that might to the locals this is excessive, but for me that's just kind of what we used to have down our street where we used to live before. Lots of cars because it's a busy place, lots of people. But yeah, only 167,000 population, or by my understanding. That goes up, and it does vary depending on the time of year. And like I said, we've got a lot of holiday homes on the island, so a large percentage, I'm going to say at least 10% of the population don't live here full time. The problem is I'm now stuck behind a Doris, not the van. The van can't overtake at this point because the roads are a bit windy. But in front of him we've got an old, it would appear to be an old person driving, or a person who doesn't know their way around. It says 40 mile an hour. We're not even touching that yet. We are now currently moving a little bit faster. We're now 30 mile an hour. So it's better than normal. Normal is 20 or 10. But it can be frustrating, especially when you're trying to get somewhere. But that's just my mainland mentality coming out. I'm guessing if I was born and bred on the island, I would have been even more laid back. I've become laid back, but I still get frustrated by little things such as slow driving. Brake lights. So the route I'm taking now, I have in the past done it in 15 minutes. I somehow have a feeling it's going to take a good half an hour to 45. We're now coming into a little village. It's called God's Hill. They've got a really expensive pub here on the left. It's called the Griffin. It's quite nice food, but it's quite expensive. We also have various eats because it's a tourist attraction. We have a miniature village here. We have an old smithery, or old smithy as they call it. You've seen it there. The Olive Garden, which is bigger than one. Yeah, the model village. I've just said that already. We've got Daisy, which is a flower shop, I believe, and does crafts.
It's a mix and match clothes shop.
And then there's a teddy bear shop where you can build your own teddies. They're down the road or somewhere. But anyway, this is the person I've got to overtake, and from the look of it, it's an old elderly fella. Oh, lucky for me they're turning off. That's good. We've got a huge, big old church up here on the left. And not a lot to it. The speed limit here is 20 mile an hour. This is a school. And that's what I'm doing at the minute. And now it goes up to 30 mile an hour, which is okay. But before long, I might, if I'm lucky and I don't bump into any more slow drivers or horses or tractors or farm equipment, stuff like that, I might even be able to get up to 60 mile an hour because that is the speed limit on the open roads outside of the villages, on the A roads. But needless to say, lots and lots of narrow, very narrow lanes. At the moment it says 50, and in a short while they will open up by another 10 mile an hour and then we'll be able to do 60, which is lovely and very rare on the island because the roads aren't very big, or shall I say very wide. We've also got our doggies with us today. They love coming out for a car journey. And in 100 yards we have a little farm shop. Never been in there because we find that for what they are, you don't really get good value for money, which is down to EU regulations as far as growing and selling. So the farmers try and make up their losses through their farm shops, where they sell their wares, and they can be quite expensive. And the big superstores, unfortunately, have taken away all that trade, and it's killing the industry 100%. People are struggling. Again, another very popular place to come and cycle, because we haven't got that much traffic on the roads. But like I said, cyclists can be a bit of a pain, because they're just not fast enough. And the new laws give them more rights than the people who actually pay tax to drive on the road. You have to pass them wide. So we've gone out of God's Hill, and we've just done about 3 miles, I think it is, and now we're coming to another village, and it's called Rukli. And there's very little going on here. They've got a cooperative shop, they have a small industrial area, and pretty much a car lot, as you can see on the right, which sell nice cars, but also quite pricey for what you get. It's a well-maintained little area. Most of the gardens around here are pretty. A lot of people take care of the curbside appeal, but really not a lot here in respect of industry. We've had a couple of new builds here recently. There's about 30 houses, new houses gone up, which is good, because it does create work and employment, but only for certain people within the industry.
They're council houses, so they don't have to work.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they council houses?
Yeah, they're
So
shared buying.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So our government employed various schemes. One of them is shared purchase or shared ownership. So for people who can't afford to get on the housing ladder, they can buy from the state, part buy. So they only own a percentage, how much ever they can buy from a property, 50, or whatever whatever they can afford, they can buy, and then over a period they can buy the other percentage, and the state owns the other half. But I think that could be tricky.
Because they're still paying rent and they're still paying a mortgage.
Effectively, that's exactly it. You're paying a mortgage, and then you're paying rental on the portion of the property that you don't own. But I'm not 100% on that, because I'm in a fortunate position where I am a homeowner and I'm not in a mortgage situation, so therefore I've lost touch with that sort of financial side of things, because it no longer is relevant in my life. We're now coming into an area called Black Gang. No, sorry, not Black Gang, Blackwater, beg your pardon. And again, very little going on here. A couple of tea shops on the cycling route, which is off this road. There's a farm or an equestrian store here. Farm equestrian, you get feed, supplies, that sort of stuff, plastic wraps, fencing, all that kind of stuff. But it's not big, although it is a national company, but on the island it's the only one. Lovely, got a very nice the Radcliffe's farm shop there. Really nice produce in there, really good produce, and actually not too unaffordable. But you will pay more than you would for the stuff in the supermarkets, because it's organic, you see, and it's also really big. So we've got, as I said, a lot of regulations relating to produce, which is being ruled by the EU, which is the European Union, which we luckily are no longer part of, but a lot of the legislation is still related, so we still have to follow guidelines, otherwise we lose our export and import benefits. And this is one of the main roads into Newport, and we're not far from Newport now. It's taken me not very long, but effectively I've travelled 10 miles, 10.4 miles actually, to get this far. We're almost there, but we're not quite there. And yeah, and as you can see from the surrounding, very green. It's summer, full summer now, finally. And it's now gone up to 19 degrees, and its temperatures do vary a little bit across the island. Up there where we live, it can get extremely hot, but it also can get extremely cold, extremely wet, and extremely windy. But it's the isolation I like, the quietness. So there's nothing better than waking up in the morning to birdsong opposed to revving motors or alarms or sirens or gunshots or stuff like that. But gunshots is not really well heard on the island because weapons of that nature are not really permitted in the United Kingdom. So although they are available, if you're like a farmer, for example, and you belong to a shooting club or something like that, you can get a licensed firearm, but only under very, very strict conditions. And then of course there's always the black market, but no one goes down that route unless you've got some evil or nasty intention. That's the same in any society. And now we are coming up to Newport. To our right is what they used to call the old driving centre or driving school. That's been closed off and sold.
That was the
Football ground, sorry, but there was a driving centre there, I beg your pardon, so it wasn't all football ground. That's been sold off and it's been opened up for development, and a lot of people have protested, not protested per se, but put in their reasons why things shouldn't be built there. So it's still just land that's there with a structure on it and it's not been developed. Hopefully that will get done soon, because my understanding is there's another DIY trade centre coming there, which will be good because currently we've got one on the island which has the monopoly, and they're not the greatest as far as product is concerned or really as customer service. But I'm not going to mention names, but some competition would do everyone a favour. And we have currently come into Newport. This is not Newport in Wales in the UK, this is Newport on the Isle of Wight, and suddenly we have traffic. So, but even this is not a lot, this is minute. It can get busier, especially around these junctions where we've got all these traffic lights, and in a short bit we're going to come to what they now call the traffic light forest, because the council did some really strange road renovations, took them years to take it and mess it up, so that no one knew it was going on for a very long time. And funny enough, this is the only dual carriageway, and it's about a mile long on the entire island. So yeah, it's the only one we have. It's the only time you can actually get to ride faster than 5 or 10 or 15, 20 mile an hour. A lot of industry here. We've got things like Dunelm, PC World, Curry's, B&Q. We've got the hospital here. We've got a college here. We've got plenty of things. We've got Halfords. We've got loads of cycling shops. Quite a large population. So, well, that's just one part of the journey. I will quickly stop this once we get to the DIY store, and then we'll see if we can do it on the way back. I also do this filming when I drive long journeys like this, just in case there's an accident. At least the camera has some form of proof which can be used for accountability. We are now currently at the Forest of Lights. And now it's just waiting till it's time to go. Excuse me. I had a line today, first time in a long time, but still got up early. For a lot of people, getting up 1 o'clock would be a line. For me, getting up at 9 o'clock makes you feel like I've been in bed for way too long. Actually, I was up at 8. I was awake at 4, went back to sleep for a bit, and I was up and out, ready to go at 8 o'clock this morning. And for me, that's a lie. Oh, it's getting warm now, though. There we go, finally outturned. Excuse me. Go down the back and find shade. Unless my favourite spot's available. Because that's always in the shade. Let's see. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm not. Yes, I'm lucky. There's one there. There's a space. There's 2 spaces. Even better. No, you're going to have to wait now, bro. Because I'm taking this space. Or should I? That's my space. You can wait, fella. Right, ladies, see you all soon.